Hi, everyone. This is a very important update, recent update on UAP secrecy. Obviously, here's another one. Defense Department amplifies UFO secrecy yet again. We're talking about additional exemptions that reinforce law enforcement claim. So let's take a quick look at this. This is breaking news, of course, as the information is trying to be brought out to the public by people like Representative Congressman from Tennessee, Tim Burchett. You got Paula Luna, David Grush, who also just got his clearance back. We'll be talking about that also. These are updates in the news that we are all waiting for. The Department of Defense Department upheld, there's two code numbers here because I'm not talking about what is being exempted, right? The exemptions in response to 6 FOIA appeals, which is the Freedom of Information Act appeals. In the United States, citizens can ask for classified videos to be declassified. Sometimes it takes up to a year and a half, 2 years, and sometimes it costs a couple of dollars to do so. So the FOIA appeals filed by the Black Vault challenging the classification of UAP information under law enforcement exemptions. During the appellate review, the Defense Department introduced additional exemptions not previously cited. Unfortunately, including those covering classified information on intelligence activities and matters exempted from release by statute. So they make the statutes, right? And they make exemptions where they do not have to bring out information or private information about a certain event or several events. So as quickly as they are trying to make laws to help this truth come out to the public, well, in the background, the three-letter associations and Defense Department are altogether trying to withhold people from coming out with their testimonies, trying to withhold from giving out private information. And again, those of you that don't know, the alien retrieval program is something that exists. That has never been a question for me. And David Grush, when everyone is hating on him, when in reality he had his clearance taken away, retired after whatever, being in charge of the Unidentified Aerial Task Force team. Think of it. So this guy, what would it give him trying to bring out information, David Grush? It would give him absolutely nothing to him to bring this information out. Despite multiple attempts to obtain a comment from Defense Department spokesperson regarding these developments, no response has been received after months. That's right, after having tried to reach them for months. They even said that they didn't get any emails from David Grush, which wasn't true. When, they lied, and any association that's going to lie right off the bat, I think they should not be trusted. So regarding these developments, no response has been received after months of attempts, continuing the trend of governmental secrecy surrounding UAP phenomena. The introduction of new exemptions presents heightened challenges for, the Black Vault is one, for example, that should the decision to litigate for information release be taken. So this is what's happening right now. Hi, everyone. Representative Tim Burchett, Congressman, representative of the state of Tennessee. This, what I just showed you at the beginning of the video, happened approximately October 2nd. 2 weeks ago, the Tim Burchett had access to information in a skiff to find out what was going on. Here in his own words, and listen attentively to what Tim Burchett is actually saying. A lot of people are upset with everything that's going on. In reality, you have to understand there's a lot of statutes that are being created on one side to bring information out to the public. But on the inside, higher up, the ones running the show, three-letter associations are withholding testimonies and evidence from coming out. They're withholding all information about UFOs. And across the line, the Defense Department in all fields goes from the Navy all the way down to the Pentagon. And, they're hiding information. They're not telling people exactly what's going on. Why would the government hide something that they are not a part of if they say they are not a part of the alien retrieval program? They may be.
Didn't really have any real hopes because that's what we're getting. I told somebody it's like all these guys are like, when I talk to them, they're like looking down the barrel of a .22 rifle. It's just very narrow and very straight. And they're honestly I feel like they're telling the truth within their limited scope, but it is very compartmentalized.
What do they mean by very compartmentalized? Well, he does believe that inside of their scope of what they are allowed, they all have clearances, they all have things that they sign, not to talk about anything, not to talk about anything that they are working on. A bit further down in that message of Tim Burchett talks about a quasi something. Well, quasi projection. David Grush is the first that I heard mention it at that moment that one of those three whistleblowers were being interviewed. David Grush talked about it himself. And a lot of compartmentalization, meaning there's a lot of secrecy to get into these compartments. It's much like you hear about hackers and the deep, dark web when they talk about the onions. You get into the web, you get into the area of information like Tim Burchett did in the skiff, and you're just in a void. There's several voids to be able to get into it, like a labyrinth, right? To get to the truth. And this is how they're holding everything back. And then you get people that are just upset. Like, I understand you all. Oh, well, we're not going to get any information. Tim Burchett confirmed it. We're not going to know anything. No, he didn't confirm that. It's a long process. And much of what's going on, most of what's going on right now for our benefits, for the public to know the truth, is being hidden. Right? Probably some people being arrested right now. We're seeing people lose their jobs. We're seeing people gain and lose their clearances. Luis Elizondo on the stand. Whether you believe these people or not, I think it's important that we hear all the real testimonies. Why depend on what people are saying, right? There's no evidence that they don't exist, the programs, as much as we're not seeing the evidence that they do exist. We're seeing lots of evidence, but people want physical evidence. That's much like the moon. The reporter Ross Coulthard, with exclusivity to all the testimonials, coming soon, by the way, working at News Nation, talks about an article he writes, Arctic Circle UAP Incident. This is a previously undisclosed encounter, and it happened on February 1st, 2023. We're talking 8 to 9 UAPs detected over the Arctic Circle. Yeah. Fighter jets were sent up, but they're denying it. And hang on. Here's the best part. Watch what appears the next line. Unsuccessful interception attempt. So in other words, they weren't able to reach the balloons. The balloons got away.